All right, how we doing? We're live. Let's get a quick audio visual check. How we all doing today? Smash up the likes as you're coming in. We've got a good live stream for you guys today. A lot that I want to go through in this one today. We had a few technical issues yesterday, but they should all be gone today. So let's see how this goes. I'll just wait for a couple comments just confirming that everything's okay, and we'll get straight into everything. I'm going to be talking to you guys today about the possibilities of Bitcoin pumping back up towards 50k, the possibilities of Bitcoin taking another leg down, which looks fairly likely. If we do take a leg down, how much lower we're going to be going, and a couple other things like that. So, okay, everyone's saying it's good. One person says the audio's not great, but I don't think that's on my side. Good, let's get started. All right, so let's show you the charts here. Well, I don't need to tell you what happened yesterday. Shout out to those of you who did tune into that live stream yesterday. That was with Tone Vase. Very, very cool. Bitcoin saw a really big dump, and the thing that we need to first of all establish is, look, I mean, this is one of the biggest dumps we've seen this year in one day. This is a minus 19% move, and for any market, this is absolutely huge. Even for a shitcoin, this is a pretty big dump. And it serves a couple really important functions. It actually has done a lot of good things for the market, and I want to start off with the good news, even though I'm not particularly convinced in either direction. I just got to put this out there from the beginning. I'm not leaning bullish, I'm not leaning bearish in particular, but one of the best things that's happened for the bulls, in my opinion, is if we take a look at the funding rate right here on the daily time frame. For those of you who don't know what this is, you don't need to have a very strong technical understanding of this, but for those of you who don't know, essentially what the funding rate represents is if you're trading with leverage, which is what I primarily do. That's what I'm talking to you guys about when I say I'm using Bybit with the link down below. When you're trading on leverage, you're going to be paying a fee every usually 8 hours to keep your position open. And that fee changes depending on if you're buying or selling Bitcoin. If you're buying Bitcoin, when the fee is positive, which it was over here at a reading of 0.06, this is on Bitmex, but it's the same for all exchanges. When the fee is positive, it means that people who are buying are paying that fee every 8 hours, which means it costs money to open a long position. And to bring that down into practical terms, that essentially means that the market right now, or at that point, was favoring the bears. That's what a high funding rate means. And yesterday was able to flip that around, and the market is now favoring the bears. Now, it's worth noting, because that can easily excite you in a vacuum, but it's worth noting that the market can be favoring the bears for a matter of days, even weeks, right? Until it finally switches. Let me show you a better example. If we switch this on its head and we take a look at all of these negative funding rates right here, this is where the market was favoring the bulls. This is where people were overall too bearish. Too many people were going short, so generally the majority is wrong. So that's why we would start to see big increases. But take a look at this. See, a lot of these increases from 30,000, 29,000 all the way up to 42. This is a $12,000, $13,000 price gap here. This is a big jump. We're talking 30-40% price action increase right here. All this time, funding rates stay negative. So it's not a case of as soon as funding rates flip and go in the other direction, it means that the market is also going to flip and go in the other direction. That's not what this means. But what it does mean is that at this time, the market was favoring the bulls. And so eventually we did end up seeing that. And of course, it does work in reverse. When the market was massively pumping higher, the funding rates were favoring the bulls massively for a really long time. The funding rates were favoring the bulls all throughout this rally, and Bitcoin kept setting new all-time highs. So that's very important to keep in mind. A lot of the time, guys, when you first learn about indicators, people are going to show you one example that the teacher who's teaching you about this is going to show you one example of where it's true, maybe 2 or 3, depending on how good that teacher is, but they're not going to show you how it's actually not so reliable sometimes. And I don't know why technical analysis teachers, and by teachers I don't mean like YouTubers, I just mean like anything in books or Udemy courses, wherever you're learning about it, I don't know why they generally don't also say, but this is why it fails. But it's very important to know that, because if you don't, then you would start thinking that actually in practical terms, we should start pumping up today. And that's not what this means. What it does mean though, and this is a very important distinction, what it does mean though, is that there was one extra bit of ammunition that the bears had, and that ammunition is now gone. That is very significant, right? Because when we're losing a bear case in an overall very bullish market, that's strong. That's a big deal to me. So I really, really like seeing that sign right there in this market. Shout out to those of you who are tuning in. We're up to 1,000 viewers right here. Let's smash up the likes as you're coming in. So that's one of the big pieces of good news right here. That's one of the big pieces of good news that I'm seeing right here. It's purely that, this market has actually reset itself a little bit, and that's actually one of the big things that I think has happened with this dump. If we look a little bit closer at what happened with this dump, this is very clearly a lot of emotional selling. Right? I mean, this is a lot of people who are absolutely shitting themselves and very, very scared about what's happening in the market. And, as Tone Vase and I were saying on the live stream yesterday, this is capitulation. This is people giving up on Bitcoin, throwing the towel and being like, fuck this, I'm done. And when you get that, you're washing out the sellers. Guys, at the end of the day, the people selling Bitcoin are sellers. And when they've sold Bitcoin, there's no more sellers left. There's no more Bitcoins to be sold. So you only have the people who are buying, and that creates an imbalance of supply and demand, where all of a sudden demand is a lot higher than supply. That is something that we're also moving closer to when we get these kind of dumps, especially when we get them in bull markets, because it's very important to keep that in mind. The first thing with all of this, even though I think it's very probable that we get another leg down, the first thing with all of this to keep in mind is that we're in a bull market, right? And so these kind of things, the first thing I'm going to do is consider, how can this be a good thing for Bitcoin? One of the other things that I just want to point out really quickly, which has been very, very impressive, is I've always been telling you guys about this $51,000 level and the $42,000 level. And one of the things I've been saying a lot is that when we hit this, when we break one of these levels, we're probably going to hit the next one, and then it works in reverse as well. When we break one of these levels, we're probably going to hit the next one. And we've done that many, many times, and most recently we've done it to rise up from 42 to 51, and just yesterday we've done it yet again to fall from 51 to 42. So this is showing you that yet again, this gap of magic that Four Flies has been banging on about and constantly talking about in this market, yet again has come completely true in this market. And this just demonstrates to you that while you're panicking and while you're absolutely losing your mind over what's happening in the market, the technicals are still holding true. And that's something to keep in mind. The more you see this happening in front of you, because this is not going to be the last flash crash you're ever going to experience, the more you see this happening in front of you, the more you're going to understand what's going on. And by extension, the less it's going to frustrate you with time. So, you can learn this lesson today, or you can learn it in 6 months, or you can never learn it and just keep panicking. But I prefer to learn these lessons as quickly as possible to accelerate my journey towards making amazing gains in this market. So very important note right there as well. So yeah, that's some of the bullish things. I'm gonna go back to them in just a second. I just want to double check on the stream, see if everything's okay. Looks like everything's fine. I'll start going through your comments and your questions in just a minute. But the next thing that I want to start talking about before I go back to the bull cases for Bitcoin is where I think Bitcoin is actually in dangerous territory. So one of the first things to point out here is that we're losing bullish ground. This was a nice ascending channel on Bitcoin. This is actually generally a bearish pattern that breaks down in financial markets, but for Bitcoin, this is usually actually something that Bitcoin uses to its advantage, and I was talking to you guys about that, but unfortunately it didn't work in this case, so we've lost that pattern right there, and that is a bit of a shame. But what we do have now is quite a serious, slightly concerning situation, if I'm honest, which is where Bitcoin actually has potentially established a downtrend right here, and I might be in a bit of a continuation pattern right now. This is what's concerning to me, is if we see Bitcoin kind of zigzag sideways a little bit, trade to just sideways across time for a little bit of time right now, if this lasts a day or a couple of days, and it has already been a day to be fair, but if it lasts a couple of days and things like that, that's where I'm going to start to get a little bit worried that we've started a short-term, and only a short-term, I'm not saying we're going all the way down to 10,000, but a short-term downtrend which can end at 42k, or it can end at 35, or it can end at 30, and it doesn't matter what your emotions say, the market is going to go where it wants to go. And so my fear is that we could have started a mini downtrend right here, a short-term downtrend, and that means we're going to have our trend movement, and then we're going to have our consolidation or continuation pattern, and then we're going to have the step down on the staircase. Again, those of you who watch this channel regularly, who've been subscribed to this channel, one of the most common bits of TA that I always talk about is that the market will move in the direction of the trend, it will pause, forming that staircase step, and then it will continue that trend in whichever direction it was going in. Applies to the upside and applies to the downside right here. And this can come in many different shapes. This middle step right here, this can come in the form of a rise upwards. It can come in the form of a rise in a fall downwards. It can come in just sideways trading, and it can be circles and anything in between. It's just a pause in the trend where, broadly speaking, the price is not really doing anything while time keeps moving at a constant pace, because obviously time always moves at a constant pace. So that's my concern here, and that's why I'm talking about a second, potential big dump in this market. And there's a few more reasons that I think this is quite possible, but before I get to them, I just want to show you the extent to which this could be damaging in this market. Thank you very much, Pretty Bitty, for saying this is one of my best streams ever. That is very, very nice of you. But I want to show you what the extent that this dump can reach could be. And the way we do this is we measure the size using a normal trend line from the top of the dump to the bottom, or from the top of a pump, from the bottom of a pump to the top. We'll measure it like this, and then we'll simply say, right, like the price is going to keep trading sideways a little bit. Let's say it's going to form a pattern that looks a little bit like this, and it's going to break out from right here. So then all I'm going to do is I'm going to Control C, Control V, and I'm going to drag the flagpole across to the breakout point, and this can forecast for me where the market is headed down to. And at the moment, that is indicating a price level of $36,000. Just looking at my very, very speculative analysis. just looking at my very, very speculative analysis at $36,000. You need to tell them to stop. It's telling us that we're looking at about $36,000. Be very polite. That we're looking at $36,000 for a speculative target right there. And I'm not going to hold myself to this. I'm just showing you what a flagpole extension can look like. It could be that we start this flagpole extension from up here. It could be that we start it from down here. But generally the thinking behind this kind of pattern is that we're getting one move down, and that move is repeated in intensity the second time. And that's what a trend like this can look like. If we're looking at Elliott wave patterns, and we're looking at, I don't know either. If we're looking at Elliott wave patterns, it could be that the first wave is small, second wave is a retracement, and the third wave is really big, and then we have a small fifth wave as well. So there's these are the different kind of ways that you can forecast how low an asset is going to fall when it's suffering a mini downtrend like this. And that to me is what's quite concerning. It's the possibility of the market continuing the downtrend, and if it does, the fact that the next move down can actually be quite strong. It can be quite troublesome for the market, and that's what's the fact that the first leg was so big is what's concerning me, right? If we were to just fall down here and consolidate from here, well then the next leg isn't actually going to be that big. That's only going to take us down to 43. But because the first leg was so big, this is demonstrating a lot of panic. And if we take a look at this from a psychological analysis point of view, what's happening here is a lot of people, like I said, are capitulating, they're panicking, they're throwing the towel in and giving up. And that means a lot of other people could be on the brink of doing the same thing. Now, we don't know, and that's the question that we try to answer with trades and put our money behind. But if a lot of people are, in that kind of fragile state of mind, and by the way, I don't think they are. Generally, people are very, very fragile mentally when you're at market tops, right? When the market is going to really tumble down, like Bitcoin rocketing from 2K up to 20, or from 20K up to 65. And that's where you get a lot of people buying Bitcoin just for the speculative rise, just out of excitement, just because they want to, make a lot of money and they don't know what they're buying. So they're just buying it out of fear of missing out and hype. Obviously, those are the people that sell, but that generally only happens when the market gets really crazy. That generally only happens when the market gets absolutely insane, like right here or back in 2017. But I don't think that this is what's happened here. The reason I don't think so is, number one, we're at price levels that we've seen before, so this isn't uncharted territory, and by extension of that, it's not as exciting as setting all-time highs. And number two, we weren't actually rising that quickly. This wasn't a super aggressive rally. If we take a look at this line demonstrating the gradient, the attack that this market was moving with, this market was moving a lot less steeper. I don't know what the correct word is there, but it's not moving as steep, it's not moving as aggressively as the previous bull phases. Look at this. The previous bull phases were way more aggressive than what we're seeing right now. Look, this is the difference in terms of, some of the kind of trends that we saw, the strength that we had with the trend, right? They're moving much more aggressively compared to what we have right now. These two lines representing a little bit of that. Again, this is not scientific. This is just to prove a point, to show you that the trend was not as aggressive. So I don't think that people are generally going to be as fragile as they were perhaps say up here at 65 or at 20,000 for the first time. I don't think that's what we're seeing right now. But if it was, obviously that's where we're going to start to trigger even more capitulation, and that's why we start getting those sell-offs. So this is really, really important to keep in mind because of that. This is the kind of thing that I think makes all the difference, where if you don't know these facts, I mean, these are not things that you can trade. These are not ideas that you can make money off right now, but these are things that allow you to put the market in a broader picture, apply some broader context to what you're looking at right now, so that you can take a step back and really understand what's going on. And that, to me, is extremely, extremely important. So there you go. That's what a next leg down could look like for me. The other thing that this is going to do is it's going to send funding rates even lower. Right now, funding rates already favor the bulls. That's going to send them even lower. And one of the key things that's happened, right? One of the key things that happens when funding rates start flipping from bullish to bearish is a lot of people are in their long positions right here, and those long positions are being forced shut. I'm sure if we took a look at the longs on Bitfinex right now, we would probably see, yeah, look at that. I mean, there you go. So longs really, really shooting down. Actually, they were shooting down all the way for a very, very long time. But what we did see here was a lot of long positions closing right here on Bitfinex, and really a lot of people, essentially, they were having their stop losses triggered, they were having their liquidations hit and different things like that. They had to get out of their long positions, they had to get out of their buy positions, essentially, is what I'm saying. And when we see that, that's creating liquidity, that's making a lot of money for exchanges. If you want to talk about manipulation, that's a lot of the time, that's what manipulation tries to achieve. It tries to screw over the maximum amount of people in the maximum or shortest sometimes time frame as possible. Right now it's happening pretty quickly, and so that is definitely something to keep in mind in this kind of market right here, right? If we were to fall again, the next time that we would trigger so many liquidations and stop losses would be if the market fell below 42,000. And one of the reasons I know this, I mean, I don't know this for sure, but one of the reasons I'm speculating this is actually, I mean, someone made the perfect example of exactly why this is going to happen in the comments, where somebody said, I think the price is going to fall down to $42,000 because a lot of people are trying to buy Bitcoin down here, and then it's going to go back up. But that is exactly why, A, we're not going to go down to 42 because a lot of the laymen want it to, and B, that's why we might actually plunge significantly lower. Because think about this, right? If a lot of people are trying to open their long positions right here, if you swing the price down here and open their positions, and then swing the price another, 10% lower down to 36K, which was the target that I showed you about 10 minutes ago, you're going to liquidate and stop a lot of people out of their good trades. And that is going to create a lot of liquidity. And the other thing it's going to achieve, just like yesterday, is it's going to make a lot of people become disillusioned with the market. And that's going to give them the opportunity to, the weak hands selling into the toughened hands, the poor giving their assets to the rich. And then that wealth transfer keeps happening because the rich generally tend to have more patience than the poor. That's just generally how it goes in these markets. And that's 100% exactly how it goes for Bitcoin as well. So, that's why I wouldn't be so definite about seeing 42,000 hit. And actually, it wouldn't be such a good thing in my opinion, because to me, the risk, if we hit 42, the risk of us plunging lower would be very, very high right now, just because this trauma is very recent. And so it's quite easy for panic to set into the market and take us another 10% lower. that's the bear case, and those are some of the key reasons I'm seeing this. Let me just see if I've missed anything. The other thing though that I'm actually quite liking in this market, and see there's a lot of mixed signs, so that's why I'm actually kind of closer to neutral right now. But what I'm really liking about this market is that this market right now is slowly trending lower, right? It's forming a descending channel. And if you guys were paying attention towards the beginning of the live stream, I was saying that Bitcoin was in a similar pattern where it was in an ascending channel, and I actually have an example of that. Take a look at this. This is an ascending channel that Bitcoin was in, and these are generally quite bullish for the market. But these descending channels, the one that we're in right now, these are generally quite bullish for the market too. These are generally quite bullish in all financial markets and in Bitcoin. And again, the implication here, if we visualize what momentum looks like for I don't know, usually I use the example of a torpedo because it's moving down, but let's just say, look, the momentum of something moving down is very quick right here. Now the momentum is slowing down, and the implication, the perceived idea of this pattern of losing momentum to the downside, and by the way, our best friend, the RSI, which if you guys know me, I don't actually like, is showing us the same thing, that the market is gaining strength, the relative strength index. Guys, people think when the RSI is low, that the market is weak, and that's not the case. It's just saying that the market has an absence of strength. An absence of strength is not the same thing as weakness. And I think that is very important to keep in mind. This is the relative strength in this index, not the relative neutrality index. Relative strength. If the RSI is up, it means the market is very strong. It doesn't mean that it's overbought. That's very important to keep in mind. But anyway, that's a tangent. But this is essentially visualizing for us the same thing I've just mentioned, which is that momentum is shifting and we've lost a little bit of the downside momentum. And the implication here is that this is going to kind of level out and then flip to the upside. That's generally, and form a nice U-shape rounded bottom. So that's what these patterns generally can imply, and that's what's got me a little bit excited right now, because I think that if Bitcoin is able to break out of this, you see, this volatility is very recent. So if we're able to get a breakout very soon, and I mean like today, tomorrow, day after, very, very soon, before the end of this work week, before Friday, basically. And what day is it today? It is it's Wednesday. So yeah, within the next 2-3 days, if we're able to get a pump, I think because this volatility is very recent, a pump can actually take Bitcoin really high. And again, if we do look at these funding rates, they are right now favoring the bulls, because right now, bears are paying to keep their position open, which means that a lot of people have gone short in this market. A lot of people are selling in this market. One of the other things that I want to bring to your attention is this fear and greed index, which yesterday was at extreme greed for the reading of 79. Today it's down to 47, so it has dropped by 30 points. And this isn't necessarily a super reliable index, but it is a good visualization just to kind of reconfirm what I already know, which is that a lot of people have lost their extreme greediness and they are shifting towards the red side of this scale, which is fear. And so the more fearful people are, that's generally where we can start to see better gains in the market. So I think that's also really, really important. Guys, I'm ready to start going through your questions in just a minute, so you can start dropping them right here now in the live chat if you're watching us live. If you are enjoying this live stream so far, then make sure to smash up those likes. It helps the channel out a lot, helps the algorithm. So if you're finding this useful, if this is calming you down and giving you a little bit more of an insight into the market that maybe you didn't have, that little click for you means a lot for me. And of course, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on this amazing content. I need to take credit for one of the big videos I made recently where I was talking to you guys about how markets like Ethereum are in a very dangerous position where if they start crashing, they can absolutely drop like a stone. And that warning came the day before this big market drop. So those of you who are subscribed, you would have seen that video. You would have had adequate time to prepare. But those of you who weren't, you would have missed it. And that might have been quite quite bad for a lot of people. Yeah, you can start dropping your questions right here in the comments. I'm going to wrap up with a little bit more of my core analysis. Then I'll start moving to other markets. One of the other things I want to bring to your attention right here is the dollar. The dollar was rising quite nicely yesterday. And I think this is one of the primary reasons that the whole crypto market saw a drop right here. I mean, this is the first fairly big rise that the dollar has seen in a short space of time since, let's trace this back, since the last 2 weeks. So it's been 2 weeks since the dollar has seen such a big, maybe even a little bit more, because most of this rise started, a day after what I just showed. So it's been about 17, 18 days since the dollar was able to surge this high. And let's just trace Bitcoin back real quick. I'm sure we're going to see something really interesting. If we go back, hang on, let me see when the dollar peaked. Dollar peaked on the 20th of August and started rising on the 13th. And if we compare that to Bitcoin, what's happening on the 13th? Bam, look at this. Bitcoin on the 13th is trading up towards 48. And until the 20th, Bitcoin is trending down. So very, very clear inverse correlation with the dollar and Bitcoin, in my opinion. Where and this is disputed. I don't know how it's disputed, to be honest. It's clear as day to me. But from the 13th, 14th of August to the 20th, Bitcoin trending down, and this is the only time that the dollar has a sustained rally. And after that, dollar is dropping for the next, kind of 10, 20 days, whatever. And Bitcoin for those next, 10, 20 days, generally making a nice rise to the upside. So that inverse correlation is there. And this is going to help you put it into context a little bit. Worldwide, all different kind of stocks. We saw, gold, the commodity, we saw drops right here, S&P 500. This might not look like a big drop to you, but for the suit and tie investors that are playing around in Wall Street, this might have been pretty disastrous for a lot of people. So, we are seeing blood across the board when the dollar tends to rise. But of course, the good news for us, well, although it's generally quite a bad thing, but the good news for us as Bitcoin holders is that the dollar has been in quite an incredible downtrend for decades. So that's probably not coming to an end anytime soon. And if we take a look at the daily time frame, there's a lot of resistance that the dollar is about to start rubbing up against right here at about 92 points, whatever this is on this index. There's some good support that the dollar has enjoyed here previously, and some good resistance as well. So this level where this blue dotted line is right now has been an important level for the dollar for quite a long time, going back as far as 2005, 2003. This has been an absolutely critical level for the dollar. In fact, right here where we're trading right now with this dollar on this index, this triggered a 900-day bear market where the dollar lost 22% of its value against other currencies globally, which was really, really big. And this peaked in the 2008 financial crisis. So you're starting to see how the real world is tying in to these events right here. Very, very interesting. If you find these trading markets interesting beyond just making money, it's quite interesting to talk about this and just observe what's going on. At least for me. Maybe I'm boring that way. Let me double check I've not missed anything. I want to show you where some of the support is, just to show again that, while there are these bearish signs that I've been talking about, there is still a little bit of hope that I'm seeing for Bitcoin. On the daily time frame, we did fall out of my trusted EMA ribbon, but we managed to recover everything, and nearly everything, and trade towards the top of it. Again, we're now in the middle of this daily EMA ribbon, which means we can still enjoy support from it. And actually, this is one of the prevailing ideas that I wanted to talk to you about in this live stream, where while things look bad right now in this market, and it certainly looks like there's a strong possibility of the market starting to take another leg down, and that could be another big one. The first leg down was 10,000. The next one could also be 10,000. While there is still that possibility, I don't think all hope is lost. I still think that Bitcoin has a pretty good opportunity to do something pretty interesting in this market right now. And that's one of the key points I want to communicate right here. It's all kind of up in the air. That makes it extremely risky to trade right now. But of course, that's also where some of the best returns can be made. And those of you who've known me for a long time, you'll know that if you've been watching this channel and if you've been inside of 4Flies Gold and 4Flies VIP, it's times like this where I'll generally make the biggest gains. And of course, the VIP group is where I'm showing you absolutely everything I'm doing from A to Z. I'm telling you what I'm trading, why I'm trading it, where I'm trading it. Here's a beautiful message that we got from a member right here who managed to turn 2.5 grand into 20k, and then a couple days later messaged me again saying that it turned into 25 and 27k. Another member right here with a beautiful 106% profit. We were seeing some really, really nice gains from VIP members inside of our group lately. So if you do want to take action, jump into our 4Flies VIP group, really see what's going on behind these closed doors. Or if you don't really know and you just want the information, you want to see if you'd be a good fit for 4Flies VIP, you can even jump on the phone with a member of my team and we'll see if you're a good fit for 4Flies VIP. Of course, the call is free. We'll help you out where we can as well. We'll listen to your situation and see if we can point out things for you. Of course, we're not financial advisors, so we can't do too much, but we can do more than you probably think. And of course, you can gain access to that. You can ask for that just by following these 3 quick steps, clicking on these steps on screen to message me directly, and we'll set that up for you right now today. So definitely do that if you're interested. Pause the live stream here and come back to this. But let's bring it back to the charts now. And I want to start going through some of your questions because a lot of you guys have been leaving questions here. Thank you all so much for shooting up those likes. We're up to 400. Thank you all very much. Let me go. And as usual, guys, when you're dropping your questions in the chat, please make sure you write my name, 4Flies. I've just dropped it in the chat. You need to write my name, spell it properly. Otherwise, I'm not going to see your comments. Look at the weekly Bitcoin chart. Yeah, I don't generally analyze the weekly time frame, but I'll entertain it today. Oh, wow. It's got beautiful support from the weekly EMA Ribbon, which has been useful going back all the way to June 2020. So this has been useful for over a year. It's also functioned as resistance, and it's been really nice as support going back in 2017, 2016 as well. So this EMA Ribbon right now looking really nice for the weekly time frame. This is actually one of the key things I wanted to mention is, like broadly speaking, even if things got really bad for Bitcoin, right? Even if things got really scary for Bitcoin, Bitcoin's still in a good place. Bitcoin is still in a really nice rally, and it can drop. It can literally drop by $20,000, even $30,000. I swear, it can even drop by $30,000, and it's still gonna look bullish. That's how good it's been able to put itself. Like that's how good the position it's in looks to me, in my opinion. And the weekly time frame demonstrates this because this weekly EMA ribbon stretches from our low yesterday at 43,000 down to about 36, which is again the bottom of that flagpole extension that I showed you towards the beginning of this live stream. If you're just tuning in now, rewind the live stream, go back and watch that. Watch it at 2x speed so you catch up to this. And I think that is very, very important. But weekly time frame right here, with the EMA ribbon looking phenomenal. But broadly speaking, the first thing I have to say is I generally don't analyze such long time frames, so I'm not the best person to ask about this. But obviously, one of the key things to just take a look at now is if we look at where the weekly candle is at the moment, which is about $46,000, we have eclipsed last week, the week before that, and the week before that. We've basically erased 3 weeks, or in other words, 21 days of price action. We've erased within, 1 day of dumping, or in this case, 1 week. So that's a very clear demonstration of the market's potential weakness right here. And we always see it this way. It's generally slower on the way up and very quick on the way down. And the reason we're seeing that, this is a conversation that people don't like to have, but here I am dropping truth bombs that I know you guys don't even want to hear. Or a lot of you don't want to hear. Most of you, too many of you don't want to hear, but I know most of you are fine with it. This truth bomb right here is that people who buy Bitcoin, they generally don't know what they're buying, and they generally are buying it for their speculative returns and because it looks exciting and because it's doubled and tripled in value and it's breaking headlines and Standard Chartered and JP Morgan are making their massive predictions on it, and that's why people are buying Bitcoin. They're not buying Bitcoin because they read the white paper, because they read the Bitcoin Standard, because they want unconfiscatable funds, because they want to be able to send currencies across the world, send funds across the world, because they want to democratize finance. They're not buying Bitcoin for those reasons. They're buying Bitcoin for speculative returns. And that's really important to keep in mind. One of the classic analogies that I used to give on this channel, and I stopped bringing it up now because we crossed 100K and I felt like we need to be more corporate. One of the classic analogies I used to love giving is, you've got a guy. He's at the club and he's looking for some action and he's going to go to the hot girl. As soon as that hot girl turns around and he realizes that actually she's not that attractive, he is out. Like, he is gone. It's cold, it's brutal, it's unfair, you could even label it. But the point is, the guy is there because she looks attractive from her back. She's got the beautiful flowing hair. Everything is fantastic. She's got a great dress, but she turns around and I don't know, there's just something that he doesn't like about her, and there's zero interest now. How that looks in the crypto market is what we saw yesterday. What we saw yesterday is the equivalent of that. This is where we've got something very attractive, which is the speculative reward. And that speculative reward is gone, it's taken away by a small dump. I mean, it could literally just be, a dump that takes us, on the 1 hour time frame, a dump that takes us down to here, from 52.5 down to 50K. This is a small 5% correction. This is super healthy, but this can be enough to upset a lot of people and trigger a cascading waterfall. And now you're triggering stop losses. So you have to sell your positions to close them. So now the price is going even lower, and now you're getting liquidated. So the price is going even lower, and now you're scaring people, and they're only buying Bitcoin because they want to make speculative returns. So the price is going even lower. And again, if we zoom out and we look at this on larger time frames, this explains why we got this dump so perfectly. Guys, if you don't know about this stuff, there's a lot more studying you probably need to do about the market. Don't worry, I've got the content on it inside of 4Flies VIP, where most of the time, whichever package you're taking, you're going to be getting one of my 4Flies Academy courses for free, which means you don't have to pay for it. And it's a lot of content, video course. It's a video course with a lot of content where I'm going through these kind of concepts so that we don't leave any stone unturned. You're going to know everything you need to know, including the bigger ideas like this, because when you can explain away these things and when you can understand why these things are happening, and I don't mean with news, I don't care what news, and quite frankly, to be honest with you guys, I don't even remember what bearish headlines were coming out at this time. I'm sure you can Google it and see what happened on the 12th of May and what happened on the 16th, 17th of May, and I'm sure there was something very scary in the headlines, but I'm more interested, because the news always lies, I'm more interested in what's going on in the mass psychology, the herd mentality of the market. And the biggest single factor that weighs on Bitcoin all the time, and will continue to weigh on Bitcoin for a long time, in my opinion, is that people are buying it for their speculative returns, and as soon as they lose them, they are out. They are cold turkey out, and they don't care. And that is what triggers these big dumps. That's why we see such catastrophic moves in these crypto markets. You don't need to be aware of this when it's rosy, and since the end of July to yesterday, the market is moving really, really breezy up, and you don't even have to work, you don't have to do anything, and you're making money. You don't need to care about this. But this is where you're going to start becoming the most confident. It's right here is where you're going to start taking up the most long positions. You're going to start making the most brash, irrational decisions, because you don't know what I just said 2 minutes ago, and this is going to wipe you out. I know there are people watching today who can identify with what I just said, and I know this because I was one of them. So these are the peripheral ideas that if you don't know, you're going to be in trouble. That's my take on this. So smash up the likes if you found that useful. I'm going to continue going through your questions in just a minute, just reloading the live chat here to make sure that I don't miss anything. And as usual, I am going to try and start from the top, so that I don't miss anybody's questions. When do I think the Bitcoin crash will happen? I don't really predict those kind of things. I don't know. The reason I don't try and predict what's going to happen in January and December, for example, and stuff like that, is because in order to, on a technical chart right here, December on this chart is all the way over here, and in order to predict December, I need to predict November. So to do that, I have to predict October. To do that, I have to predict September, and that's too many. It's impossible to know. It's a pointless exercise in my opinion. That's why I only try to see what's the directly next thing, the direct next move that's going to happen in this market. That's all that I'm interested in. 4Flies, you and Tone need to do more videos together. Also, I'm liking the new upload style you've been doing. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you very much. Yeah, we'll definitely do more videos together, Tone and I. I'll probably be collaborating with some other YouTubers as well. So if you have any particular minds that you want to hear me interacting with, debating with, it's going to be very highly debatable with some people. That can definitely be arranged as well. I think most YouTubers are fairly open to it, and thank you for the upload style thing as well. I'm glad you're noticing. 4Flies, what's up, Sammy? Retail is pretty shaken up after the Bitty shat itself. What is a potential scenario that it's a bear trap and Bitcoin reverses from here? What are the price levels to look at? Great question. So Yeah, I think it's quite possible that this is a bear trap because, like I said, with the funding rates, a lot of people are starting to take up short positions in the market now. And broadly speaking, we're still in a good place, right? What we had just yesterday, let's keep this in mind. Let's stay grounded, guys. What we had yesterday was a bounce off support levels. So obviously, we're potentially getting that bounce inside of, potentially getting this inside of a newly formed downtrend, but we don't know that yet. What we do know for a fact is that we're still in a nice uptrend. We saw a lot of weakness yesterday. Yes, I'm not denying that, but we're still in a nice uptrend right now, and we still confirmed support. So, there is still a lot of potential that this is a bear trap. A lot of people going short in the market. So there's some good evidence to suggest that that's the case. There's the descending channel that I was talking about. What I think Bitcoin needs to do, just before I answer your question, is I think Bitcoin needs to recover above $47,000. The reason that I think this is critical is if we just drop a line right here and just kind of trace this back to see how important, and let me just change the color of this line because everything is orange right now. Let's make it, yellow is good. If we just kind of trace this line back, this line has been very important in the market going back towards the first half of this year. We were finding a lot of resistance here. We were finding some really nice support hits. Look at this. The market went from 52.5 down to 47. So that's the same place we topped out at yesterday. Went to 52.5 down to 47. And that is what triggered a really big rally to the upside, where within 8 days, the price went up by $15,000, by 32%. So 47K has been a very important level as support. Look at this. Again, same thing happening from 47 all the way up, about $13,000 up to 60K. Look, big reversals happening here. Strong support to be found right here. And some strong resistance as well. This is roughly where Bitcoin was peaking right here and right here. So there's definitely a lot of evidence to suggest that 47K is important. And for that reason, I want to see Bitcoin reclaiming it. And one of the key things I was saying towards the beginning of this stream is that it's easier to reclaim these areas of support now. It's easier to move up now than it will be tomorrow, and tomorrow it will be easier than Friday. And the reason for that is we're potentially going to be experiencing what's called whipsaw volatility, or whiplash in a sense. It's where you've suddenly made a very extreme move to the downside. So with all of that momentum, just like a rubber band, you might be able to take it in the other direction and then in the other direction and so on. That's what we kind of see in these markets sometimes. So I think that window of opportunity is here. I think that it has closed a lot since yesterday. I'm very disappointed that Bitcoin couldn't recover those levels since yesterday. That is not a good sign. And each day it stays below 47, it's going to get even worse in my opinion. But if we are able to recover above it, even come down, get a kiss right here for support, and then move a little bit higher, that would look really nice to me. I was actually, one of the questions I was entertaining in my head today is, obviously I think Bitcoin is going to recover. Obviously I think it's going to hit 65K eventually. Obviously I think it's going to hit 100. How long is it going to take for Bitcoin to recover back up here if that's the case? And first of all, obviously this would be the main target. Now this is now what's called the swing high. This is where the market swinged and set a high. So this is what I think most traders are going to be considering to be the level to beat. And I think that once Bitcoin passes this, previously I was saying 51K is the important resistance, or I was saying 55K. Now the important resistance is only 52, in my opinion. And there are smaller resistance levels in between. There's 50K here, there's 51 here, there's 47. There are smaller levels of resistance in between. But the big one is definitely 52. And I do think that if Bitcoin breaks this one, we could see it just absolutely fly up. I mean, it might be a very shaky, a bunch of anxiety on the way up, but as soon as we cross this level, if we do, I think we're taking a spaceship up towards $60,000. I think it's going to be a really quick move. We might even see, and as soon as we close above 52, I wouldn't be surprised if we hit 60 within the next 48 hours. I think it would be very quick. So that is something worth keeping in mind. But for now, my main target is going to be about 47. 51 is still resistance, so I'm still going to keep an eye on that. But for me, the main level, the main target that I'm going to set is 52. And it is entirely possible that we're going to go back up there, get rejected again, and set a double top, and then enter a multi-week, maybe even multi-month bear market. Again, I know that's not an idea that we would like to talk about very much, but we also wouldn't like to entertain ideas like this yet they still happen. The market will still move regardless of what your opinions and feelings are. And the reason that I think this is possible is if you were watching Tone Vase yesterday on my channel with this live stream, he was talking about how the weekly time frame is running out of momentum. And the reason he's saying that the weekly time frame is running out of momentum is that things can't go up in a straight line forever. And right now, this weekly chart has been in an uptrend since the 19th of July, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 candles now in this uptrend. It's had 2 candles where it retraced, so only 6 moving upwards, but total 8 candles in this uptrend that Bitcoin established. That's a lot of candles in one trend. And the implication there is when you hit week 9 or week 13, that's generally where you start to see much bigger retracements to the downside. So I think that's possible. I don't think it's likely, but I definitely will not allow myself to be surprised by it if it happened. I think that's very important as well in this market. So great question, and let's move on to the next one. Hi, Sammy. Can I talk about the liquidation value and leveraging? Yeah, fairly simple concept, to be honest. If you don't know what leveraging is, first of all, because you need to know what that is, first of all, then watch this video. Bear with me while I pull it up. Just going to go on YouTube right here. Make sure you click on my channel, click on my icon, go to my videos, actually go to search and just type in 1000 and you'll see my video right here, how to turn $1,000 into 1 million Bitcoin trading ultimate in-depth guide. This video is going to explain everything to you. So make sure you watch this one if you don't know what leverage trading is. You're about to get very confused if you don't know this, but you can pause this live stream here, go watch this one. It is free, and it shouldn't be free. This is the kind of thing that I usually charge for, so please do check it out. I might actually take it off being a public video eventually. So it's here now, it's yours. Watch it while you can. But to go back to your question, explaining liquidation values, this is fairly straightforward. Let's say that you've entered a long position on Bitcoin right here at $50,000. You're targeting 55,000, which is a 7% rise, and you're using 5 times leverage. Using 5 times leverage, which means that your risk is amplified by 5 and your reward is amplified by 5. So a 7.86% upside swing, which is what this is, would give you I don't have a calculator. Oh, I do. A 7.86 swing multiplied by 5 is 39.3%. So you'd instead of being in an 8% profit, you would be in a 40% profit with 5 times leverage. That's what leverage does. But to the downside, this is where it starts to cause a problem, because normally in conventional markets, when you trade normally, the only way you can be left with zero money, the only way you can be left with zero is if Bitcoin goes from 50K down to 0. That's how you get left with $0. In this case, again, remember, we're multiplying our risk by 5. So if the market swings down by 20%, which is nearly what it did yesterday. Yesterday it did about 18%. If the market swings down by 20%, which from 52,000 would have put you down at 42, or from 50K, it would have put you fairly squarely, very simply, it would have put you down to $42,000. Bam, right here. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a 15% rise. What am I talking about? 20% rise from here would have put you down to $40,000, $39,000. That's where your liquidation would be, because you're multiplying that 20% loss by 5. And as soon as it hits 100%, that's your liquidation price. That's where you've lost everything that you put into the trade. And because you're trading on exchanges and real life isn't perfect, your liquidation point is usually going to be a little bit before 20%. So in this context, in this example, your liquidation price might be at 19%. And that final 1%, that small 1% gap, that's what the exchange gets to pocket as a result of you losing money. So they are running a phenomenal business model in terms of cash. Ethicals are a different discussion altogether, but it's great for making money, that's for sure. And yeah, that hopefully that answers your questions. It's been a while since we've been doing regular live streams, guys, so if you do want me to keep doing these, definitely let me know. Smash up those likes, subscribe if you're new around here. You guys know I love it. What do I know about quant? I know nothing, I'm sorry. Are there any signs of the correlation between dollar strength and the recent Bitcoin weakness? Yep, we've spoken about that. Please run through the potential Gartley. I have no idea what that is. Do I think we retest the 200-day before we leg down? Good question. The 200-day moving average. We already did, so no, because we already did. Unless I'm missing something and I'm not looking at the same thing as you. But yeah, this red line, and we're about to go into a golden cross, by the way. So there's a lot of bullish things going on for this market right now, in my opinion. Why is Ethereum pumping? Is this a dead cat bounce? Good question. Let me take a look at Ethereum. Let's see what Ethereum is doing. Obviously, I can't, give you definite answers, but I mean, to me, here's what it looks like. This looks pretty simple to me. It looks like to me Ethereum has a good level of support right here, and it established resistance at 3600 with this rejection here, and potentially a rejection right here. So I was actually saying this yesterday. I'm seeing resistance looking a little bit like this. Let me just draw a box because this is way simpler. This is the range that I think Ethereum could be trading in right now, expecting resistance over here, expecting support over here. If we break the downside, I think we go very low. If we break the upside, I think we go very high. Anything in between is just chop and not particularly interesting. So if we do break 36 right now, I think we could be headed up towards 3700, maybe 38. But there is much more resistance up ahead for Ethereum. So for the most part, I think this is just standard kind of fluctuations in this market right here. I don't necessarily want to comment on if it's a dead cat bounce or not, because I don't know. But we will know the answer if we convincingly drop below $3,300. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. What's going on with Algo? I have no idea. Let me take a look at Algo. I don't think I have ever looked at this chart. Oh, it's up nicely. Very nicely up. That's interesting. Well, it's gone up from 163 to 175. It's found a little bit of support. God knows where. There's no support over here, but I don't know. This is one of those charts where it just looks like it's generally being ruled with emotion and excitement and fear of missing out. So, fortunately, I can't really put much analysis forward from this. Hey, here we go. Here's a cool comment. I remember the good old GTA videos you did. I miss those days, man. I miss being a gamer. I can't enjoy video games anymore, man. I try, but I just, I guess real life is much more fun. But I do miss being able to play video games and just unwind. Any counterpoints to rebuttal the fact that we are in a complacency zone? What is a complacency zone? Can you be more specific about what you mean by complacency zone? Am I bullish or bearish? I don't think you've been paying attention. Please go back to the beginning of the live stream. Did I sell my Bitcoin, and when am I buying back in? I mean, I always take profits, right? I mean, like, I've taken profits at 50,000. I've taken profits at 65,000, 64. I've taken profits at 30,000. So, I mean, I sell, whenever I want to, whenever I just want to kind of close a bit of my position. I don't think I've ever, sold a big portion, other than when I bought my house, which was around where we are right now. I sold the money from my house somewhere around here in the market, so that was a pretty good decision. Bought a nice house for my mum. That was always a dream of mine. So yeah, but other than that, not really. No. Do I think that if Bitcoin drops below 42k, we can enter a multi-year bear market? This person is asking, if we drop below this level right here, can we trade downwards in a bear market for years? Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think anything is possible. So yeah, I mean, it could happen, but 100%, well, 99%, I'm fairly certain that we're not going to do that. I think if we do go below 42, the most likely outcome is we're just going to quickly go down to 36 and come right back up, maybe the same day, maybe the same hour. But if not, probably the same week, same month. I'm fairly sure it would be very quick if we fell below 42. And my worst case for Bitcoin, if we fell below 42, is we're just going to trade here for another couple months, and then we'll go back up again. And it would basically this rally would then look like 14,000 up here if we throw this on the logarithmic chart, you can start to appreciate what happened here, where we set a high. Look at this, set our high. Then we nearly challenged that high, massively shit the bed, and then finally made a big rally to the upside. That's what I think we would be doing. But no, I don't think that would take years. I think even if that happened, and I don't think that's going to happen, I think that's so unlikely, but even if it did happen, I think it would only be a matter of 2-3 months, you know what I mean, at most. So I'm not worried about that at all. Do I see the similarities to the March 1st, 2020 price action when we had the Corona dump? So this person is asking, do I see any similarities between yesterday and this crash right here? Let me show you what the chart looked like back here. This person is asking, do I see any similarities with this, what was going on here? And by the way, for those of you who don't know, this is where Bitcoin set a high at 10,500 and fell down to about 3,500. So big drop here within the space of about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. 100% no, I don't think this is the case. That market crash, that was a real black swan event. If you don't know what a black swan event is, Google it. Very important concept to learn about. But that was a black swan event. It was a pandemic. It's the first pandemic that we've dealt with in the modern world. You know, that is obviously going to shake up the market. Everybody was fucking terrified. Yesterday was not the same thing. Yesterday was just a flash crash, and we got a lot of flash crashes. I think what we saw yesterday was much more akin to this right here. This was also, you know, a fairly sizable crash. I mean, it was big. It wasn't, you know, it's not something that you would just brush off lightly. Bitcoin went from a high of 12,000 down to a low of 9,800. In percentage terms, this is exactly the same size as the dump that we saw yesterday. And this, I'm sorry, what am I doing? This is exactly what I think the market is in right now. I think the market is definitely just in a situation where it's going to somehow climb its way back up. Might take a little bit of time, but I think that Bitcoin is in a dump like this, not like this. So there you go. Good question though. How would I calculate my profit in Bitcoin? I mean, I don't know. That's a weird question. How do I calculate my profit? I mean, I just look at my profit, right? It's already on the exchange. I don't really understand that question. Let's see what else we have here. Fourflies, I know you don't have high thoughts regarding Dogecoin, but what would I do if I had a stack of it today, acquired through mining, so the cost is low? Well, first of all, congratulations for getting Dogecoin through mining. I would definitely be mining Dogecoin if I had a mining rig, so I think you're very smart. What would I do? Let's take a look. Let's take a look, because I'm going to imagine that I'm a miner right now, and I just hit the jackpot, because mining is the only respectable way to earn Dogecoin, in my opinion. Oh, well. I mean, look, Dogecoin did this because Bitcoin went to 65K. So I think Bitcoin is going to go to 65K again, and put it this way. I'm very, very certain Dogecoin is going to rise from here. I'm fairly certain it's going to rise to at least 35 cents, which is a big price increase from here that we're talking about. I can't do that math, maybe like 20-30% from here. So that's a big price increase, at least up here, potentially up to 42 cents. But I wouldn't be surprised if it hit that all-time high again, because this is what happens when the market is extremely irrationally exuberant. That's when prices of shit and utterly disgusting shit coins, that's when they go to levels like this. And I definitely don't think that we've seen the end of that kind of exuberance. In fact, I think it's going to get way crazier. And the reason I think it's going to get crazier, coming off the back of the last live stream with Tone Vase, is that, guys, let's keep in mind right here that in 2020, Bitcoin was on, in 2021, Bitcoin was only setting all-time highs for 110 days. That's not even 4 months, right? That's not even 25% of the year, is it? No, it is. I don't know. It's somewhere around 25% of the year that Bitcoin was setting all-time highs. Everything since then, Bitcoin has not been setting all-time highs for 150 days. That is a lot of excessive pain in a bull market. You know, in a bull market, we should be trending up a lot more than that. So in my opinion, and going off what we've seen previously with Bitcoin. So, when we look at it from that perspective, I don't think we've fully finished the bull market. And the more we retrace and the more we have shitty, choppy ranges like this, the stronger that eventual reignition of the bull trend is going to be, in my opinion. So I think it's going to get a lot crazier than this. Remember towards the beginning of this live stream, shout out to those of you who've been in since the beginning. I was talking to you guys about the very steep gradient of attack, the very aggressive rise in Bitcoin, which we can use with a trend line. I think we're going to end up seeing that turn a little bit more vertical, perhaps like this. And this is what you would see right at the end of a major bull market. I think that's what we have in store for us. And for that reason, I think that Doge is going to get back up to those all-time highs again. Because, really, the reason we see this, for those of you who are new to the channel, because I know a lot of you guys have just joined us recently, the reason that we see stuff like this happening in this market is because people are getting very excited and very, very happy that they've made a lot of money in these markets. And as a result of that, they're getting greedy. And when they get greedy, they're looking at how they can take on even more risk in order to make even more money. So that is a very important point in analyzing human psychology and human greed. What do I think about the Plan B stock to flow chart? Don't know anything about that. I'm sorry. Solana. I don't want to look at Solana today. The complacency zone on the Wall Street cheat sheet. Okay, that's what you're talking about. Let me take a look at that. Bear with me while I pull this up. This is something that we haven't looked at since 2018 on this YouTube channel. So this is a good little throwback right here. Let's take a look at this. So, bam, right here. Let me minimize my webcam. Complacency is right over here. I definitely don't think that we're in complacency. And the idea here is that the market is peaked. This would be 65. This would be 30. This would be 52. And the idea is we're going back down to like 10. I don't think we're in complacency right now. And the reason for that is because we triggered a big bull market with this price action, but we were only setting new all-time highs from, when we crossed 20K. And again, like I said, that process for this year was only 110 days. And since the all-time high, when we broke the all-time high, that was only 120. So, generally, just to put this into perspective for you, let's go back onto the Bitcoin chart from 2017, 2016. I want to show you what this looked like right here. Bam, let's switch it onto the logarithmic chart. And let's just drop a line right here, right? So Bitcoin goes bullish from this point here on this chart at $206. Bitcoin goes bullish from here, and it stays bullish for 844 days. And this is where it enters a big bear market where it retraces down by minus 83%, which is absolutely brutal. But Bitcoin only breaks the all-time high after, look at this, after 600 days. That's nearly 2 years. After 600 days of trending up, it breaks the all-time high. And after that, it's trending up for 250 days. That's a big deal. Guys, let me repeat that. Bitcoin in the previous bull cycle was trending up for 250 days until it finally entered a bear market. This year, we've only been setting new all-time highs for 120. Not even half of that. So, to go back to your question, about the complacency thing, I definitely don't think we're there, because that would imply that we've had a full bull market, and I don't even think we've had half of a normal Bitcoin bull market. These are really, really speculative questions, though, and you're not going to know the answer to this stuff until weeks, months, or years later. So I generally don't entertain these ideas, and I just take each day as it comes, because in my opinion, there is no way to tell with these kind of questions. Your guess is generally just going to be as good as mine. So I don't like to entertain these ideas. I don't have a competitive edge, and I can't get one, because these are very abstract questions. But and that's why I stick to the technicals. That's why I try and see exactly just what's going to happen tomorrow. Because I'm only interested in what happens in the immediate future, because that is what I think I can predict. So yeah, I don't think we're in complacency. If Forflies had a high-pitched voice, would anyone listen? You can test that and go back on my YouTube channel and see if you would have watched it. And I don't think you would, because this YouTube channel I've had for 10 years, just over 10 years. And that means, you can listen to me making YouTube videos back when I was 10 or 11 years old, and you judge for yourself. But I think that would have been very annoying. All right, let's see what other questions we have here in the comments. Guys, thank you all for tuning in on this live stream. If you are finding this useful, you know what to do. Smash up those likes, help out with the algorithm a little bit. Coming back strong with these videos, putting out a bunch of altcoin videos as well. We might be starting a second channel where we focus on news as well. So we are expanding. We've got a big team now. Love everybody on the team. They work very, very hard. Got amazing service. If you guys are interested in VIP, you want to take things to the next level, this guy joined us in March this year and sent me this message just at the beginning of September, where this person turned 2.5 grand into 20K, and a couple days later he turned it into 27. Very, very impressive results. This person had our course as well for free, and a lot of you guys who join Forflies VIP now, you are going to be getting that course for free by following these steps on screen right here. So it is an absolutely phenomenal package to be taking on in this market right now. I mean, this is the time where you want to accelerate your learning process. You know, you're going to learn these lessons anyway. This is the biggest thing that I tell people all the time. And this doesn't mean buy my thing, you buy anybody's thing, but just do something to shortcut your way to learning these lessons, because you are going to learn. If you're going to be a successful trader, you are going to have to learn a lot of hard lessons, and you're going to have to learn them either the hard way or the easy way. And the hard way is going to cost you time. It's going to cost you money. The easy way, you're going to pay a little bit of money up front. You're going to buy a book. You're going to buy a Udemy course. You're going to sign up to VIP. You're going to get access to our Forflies Academy courses, which, by the way, the feedback on has been absolutely amazing since launch. It's so impressive. I'm going to be re-recording it every time I make an addition to it. You guys get those updates for free forever. You know, so it's, the value of it just keeps going up, and it has done so already. We've released big updates to that course already, and you guys didn't have to pay for it. You know, you're going to have to learn these things, and you know, there is a way to shortcut that learning, and there is a way to suffer and learn it slowly and painfully. And the biggest problem with taking that second approach, where you learn it slowly and painfully and you lose money on days like yesterday, the biggest problem with it is you're also going to be missing opportunities. And this market right now is so hot, so fertile for trading, so easy to trade if you know what you're doing. And I'm sorry, easy is not the right word. So straightforward to trade if you know what you're doing, where, you know, it's not going to be like this all the time. So if you don't know it yet, you're going to have a problem where, you know, you might learn it after 6 months, but after 6 months, the market has died down. You know, that would be a problem. So worth keeping in mind. Bam, right here. Pause the video, pause the live stream, and come right back. But let's keep going through your questions now. What do I expect from the upcoming inflation numbers? I've no idea, but I know it's not going to be nice. Forflies, I'd like to use your Bybit link. I can't advise you on what to do if you're in the United States. What I do know is that people in restricted territories, they generally don't lose their money if they get caught. They just are forced to withdraw, and then their account is closed. That's my understanding of it, and I've never seen an exception. I must have seen an exception once or twice. A lot of people have messaged me about this stuff, but generally you're not going to lose your fund. And one of the ways you protect yourself from stuff like that is having multiple accounts. That's why I always say, look, you need backups, right? You need to be able to have multiple exchanges, multiple accounts on those exchanges, and that's going to insulate you from those kind of problems. Look at the trading volume. There's so much liquidity on Bybit. This is absolutely insane. $34 billion exchanged in the past 24 hours. I mean, this is enough liquidity for multi-millionaires right here. Very, very impressive. So if you do want to sign up to Bybit, take advantage of the great sign-up bonuses that they're offering. You can get some extra cash deposited straight into your account for free when you make your first deposit using my link down below in the description. So check it out. You can sign up to Bybit there. When I was in restricted territories like the United States, I was using a VPN. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do. I can't endorse that, you know, but that is what I was doing. And, you know, obviously, the risks from there are up to you. What else do we have here? Why did El Salvador make Bitcoin their money instead of Cardano or a stable coin? Because Bitcoin is sexy and trendy. Think about how many people know about Bitcoin, and then think about how many people know about Cardano. Very simple. Forflies, much appreciated. You quickly brought up ETH recovering stronger than Bitcoin right now. Any technical analysis forecast on it? I've already given my tea on it. Please rewind the live stream a bit. Do I do Elliott waves? Absolutely not. I don't like them. Search Crypto Savvy. I don't know who that is. I don't know what that is. I do not want to sit in this thing if it goes to 18K. Why not? Why not? If Bitcoin goes to 18K, that would be the best ride ever. Don't you like having a thrill? Look at this. Down to 18K would be like this, and then bam, we'd go straight up really quick in my opinion. Don't you like excitement in your life? Come on. 18K would be very fun. I know I would be buying a lot if we fell down to those kind of levels. I don't know if you touched on this already, but the EMA support, I have already touched on this. Ichimoku I did not look at, but it's not interesting yet. It is turning into support. It has turned into support, but we're not going to be able to enjoy that support for another month. So this is not worth looking at in my opinion. I should invite Raoul Paul. Raoul Paul? I've never heard of that person. Yeah, I mean, if it's interesting, then sure. Forflies, what do I think about Crypto Kirby's analysis regarding the Bitcoin dump being a rejection from the 104 weekly HMA and how we can go into an extended bear market? First of all, a lot of people were laughing at Crypto Kirby, and he turned out to be correct. And I have lost count of the amount of times that has happened. Right? If we're in a position, and I'm talking, I mean, there's how many of you? There's 1,200 of you watching right now. Whatever percent of you are super switched on and really ready to hear some truth bombs and really ready to take this in, when you find somebody who is saying something that is grossly unpopular and very, very dissatisfying and upsetting to listen to, and if other people think that same thing as well, and they are laughing at him and they're teasing him and they're making fun out of him or her, well then, I'm going to pay attention. I'm going to be paying attention because I don't like to side with the masses. I've said this many times on this YouTube channel. Those of you who are subscribed, you'll know a lot about this. I don't like to be on the same side as the masses. I don't like to be in broad agreement with everybody, right? If I'm in agreement with 90% of the people in this market, I'm a loser if I'm one of that 90%, because 90% lose money. So that's my first note on Crypto Kirby. He's very good at being a contrarian, and that's one of the primary reasons that he protects his capital. And protecting capital is not an exciting discussion until you just eat a massive 20% loss in one day, or you leverage it up so you suffer even more than a 20% loss. You know, it's not exciting to talk about protecting capital until the market shits itself, which it does, which it will do, which it has done yesterday, which it did earlier this year, which it always does. And these are the moves that can completely destroy you and leave you with less money than when you started. Even if you bought Bitcoin down here, you would make a series of very stupid, irrational decisions and lose it all on a move like this. And you'd be worse off than if you had never touched the market. I know a lot of people, even watching this stream, are in that position. And again, I know this because I was one of them. So, you know, that is the cost of not entertaining ideas that challenge your belief system. You know, you do this in politics and you get applauded. You do this in the classroom, you do this in education, you do this in the workplace, and it's a good thing. You do this in trading and you're going bankrupt. Very, very important. That's my first note on Crypto Kirby. My second about the 104 weekly HMA. I've never heard of the HMA, so I can't comment on that. Let me see. Hull moving average. What is this? Let's see what this is. 104 weekly HMA. Let's see what this is saying. Logarithmic chart. Okay, so this indicator has been very good as support. It has been relatively useful as resistance. I'm seeing one resistance hit here, maybe two if you want to be generous. Yeah, and it did call the beginning of this major descent right here. So definitely something to pay attention to. And actually every time this moving average hit the price, like as resistance, the price went down either for a long time or by a lot. Yeah, it might have been quick. It was quick over here, or it was actually a lot over here as well, but it was also quite slow. So there's one right here. It moves down a lot. And in fact, let's just measure this to put this into context, because we're right now visualizing weeks. So this might lose, context a little bit, but this was 220 days. So, I mean, I don't even know where that puts us 220 days ahead. We'd be in like April or bloody May or something. So, imagine that right now for a bear market. That's pretty significant. That's number one. Rejection number two triggers a big drop as well. Rejection number three triggers a big drop. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. I see his point. We're on number four. Every time on this chart that Bitcoin found resistance from this indicator, it was in trouble. So, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, I mean, beyond I see his point, I don't know what more I can say. This definitely looks very concerning. What was it? Was it 3 or 4? It was 3. There's one over here, 2 if we're being generous, 3, and this would be number 4. So that's 3 confirmed hits, 2 very nice hits, a third one if we're being generous. I mean, that is enough to be valid in my opinion. It's not enough. Put it this way, let's compare this to the weekly EMA ribbon right now, and let's see what the difference is, right? In terms of support, I mean, support is a much easier one to make a case for. We're finding support here, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look, there's a lot. I don't need to go on. There's a lot of instances of finding support. We go back to the Hull moving average. I'm just trying to disprove it right now because I've seen something very convincing, but I need to counter-analyze myself, for lack of a better word. I need to challenge my ideas. That's what any competent trader should always be doing. They should be challenging their belief systems, and that's what I'm doing right here. I want to see how reliable has this been as support. So I'm seeing a big one here. 1, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7. I mean, it's been a little bit less reliable as support than the weekly EMA ribbon. So, to put that into context, what I'm seeing here is that this indicator might not be as reliable as the weekly EMA. However, that is not something that I would like to ignore. So, yeah, I don't know. Beyond that, I would actually say, guys, go watch his channel, because Crypto Kirby is the one that identified this. He is the one talking about it, and he will be much more informed about this than I will be. He is one of the best traders I've ever seen in this space. Him alongside Tone Vase, who was on the channel yesterday. These are the only 2 guys whose opinions I seriously consider in these markets. And I learned a lot from Crypto Kirby. So I think you guys can as well. If you're learning a lot from this channel, you're going to learn a lot from him as well. It certainly looks convincing. I want to say that this doesn't matter, because 3 data points isn't as good as 5, which isn't as good as 7 or 10. But that is, that's a dangerous line of thinking. So for now, the good news for me is that I don't need to worry about this as a swing trader, as a range trader, as a kind of trader who I am, where I'm only looking to get in a trade and then leave it after a couple of days. I'm not a day trader. I'm not that aggressive, but I'm 1 or 2 levels below being a day trader in terms of how aggressive I am. For my style of trading, this doesn't matter. That's my closing note on this question. Really good question. Thank you very much, Kanan. Sorry if I said your name wrong. Could we be seeing traps like 2018 for flies where we eventually break the floor and then have a huge rise? 100%. Yeah, 100%. This person is asking, look, the floor is right here. This person is asking, can we go below this and then massively go up? 100% we can. Is it likely? I don't think so. I think it's highly, highly unlikely that we're going to do that. Remember on the drop from 65k, we were all watching 53k as a big support. And you said if we lost 53, we could easily see us dropping to 40k. Now look, it's resistance. That's a great observation. You are paying a lot of attention. That's very impressive. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, 53K did turn into, on this BLX chart as well, did turn into resistance. And it was an important level that I was watching right here, as this person said, saying that if we slip below 53, we could be going to 40. And I said if we slip below 40, we could be going to 38. And if we slip below 38, probably going down to 30. So interesting to see how these things have flipped around. Definitely. I don't have any comments on that, though. It doesn't necessarily add anything new. It's just an interesting, it's one of those things where if you're paying attention like you were, if you're paying attention, you wouldn't be so surprised by this. Can I show us how to tell if the Bitcoin future premiums are high or unsustainable? No, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Can it be that Bitcoin formed a lower high if you look at 65K and then further down now? So this person is asking, if we really zoom out, is it possible that Bitcoin is in a downtrend right here where it's set a high over here and now set a high over here, and next time it's going to go something like this and set a high here and then like this? Do I think that's possible? Is that your question? Can it be? I mean, it can be. Yeah, I do think it's possible, but do I think it's likely? No way. I don't think this is likely. I've been saying throughout this whole stream, I'm still fairly bullish on Bitcoin overall, and I don't think this is going to turn into a very extended bear market. Am I in a trade now? No, as far as I know, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no. Thank you again. Your TA keeps me calm. You're very, very welcome, Sarah. I'm glad that it's helping. If guys, one of the key principles that I preach to VIP members is, if in your trading or even investing, if you have any room for feeling happy, no, I'm not saying exuberant, I'm saying happy. If you feel happy or if you feel sad, you're already too polarized, because that means your emotional state is swinging a bit, and it might not be swinging super high or super low, but it's swinging, and any deviation from neutrality is going to screw you over. So the reason I was able to stay calm during this is I have adequately offloaded my Bitcoin. Like I said, I bought my house from my mom when Bitcoin was trading around over here. I'm sorry, I'm not showing you the chart. When Bitcoin was trading around over here, I bought the house from my mom. So, I've adequately offloaded. And obviously the house was expensive. I didn't have a mortgage because I'm super young. I can't get a mortgage. Not being overly invested is what will enable you to look at the market with sobriety. Very, very important. Let's see what else we have here. Everyone's asking about Solana. I don't really want to look at it because I looked at it again today and I don't understand what it's doing. It's just low volume excitement. It's fear of missing out. It's psychology playing out. You can't analyze that kind of chart very well, in my opinion. What do I think of the secondary mini dump last night to about 44K? I don't have any opinion. That's just huge volatility, rubber banding. Can I take a look at Harmony? That sounds pretty boring. I'm sorry, I don't want to do that. Let's see what other questions we have here. All right, everyone's asking for Solana. All right, I guess I got to do it. Let's take a look at Solana. Solana is a coin that has been rocketing up. Oh, wow. Look at that. See, I don't get it. Why do you guys want me to do TA on this chart? Let me just prove a point to you real quick. Let's do this on the weekly time frame. Bam. All right, weekly time frame right here. I'm going to rewind the chart to here. Does the chart look different? Yes or no? Simple question. Write it in the comments. Does the chart look different? Yes or no? Now, does the chart look different? Yes or no? Maybe a little bit. Bam, right here. Does the chart look different? And the reason I'm making this demonstration is that in a market which is moving with such irrationality like this, you can't analyze it. This is mainly a matter of there is a lot of hype right now. Eventually it's going to run dry. When? When is it going to run dry? How crazy is it going to get before that? But before that, there is nothing going on here to analyze. It's just going up in a straight line. That makes it incredibly dangerous. The only viable trading strategy that I see on this chart right now is trading continuation patterns, where the price goes up, forms a staircase pattern, goes up again. Look, same thing I always talk about. Goes up, staircase pattern, up again. How can we identify those? Well, on the daily time frame, I already found one. Let's look at the 4-hour time frame. There's a lot I'm going to point out to you right now. Up, staircase, up, staircase, up, and then take a look at that most recently just ended today, actually. this down step, look at this, moving up, that staircase down, that step down, and then continuing on up. So, and then, the other trading strategy would be trading every time you breach a swing high. So swing highs would be like this, 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 this. Every time we rise above this level, we're probably going to pump. Every time we rise above this level, probably going to pump. Above this level, probably going to pump, and so on. Those are the only two strategies that I see in this market. But overall, this looks incredibly unhealthy and dangerous. So I probably wouldn't be trading it. How about Swissborg? Good question, yeah. Swissborg has been performing fairly poorly, although not as badly as the rest of the market. I would have liked to see it perform better than this, to be honest. Still much better than when I told you, that I was buying it down here at 30 cents. But this is very fundamentally driven. TA is quite hard. It is at support right now, so that's good. But I honestly think that Swissborg is only really going to be shining if Bitcoin shines. And I'm sure Bitcoin will shine. So I'm pretty optimistic about this. Sarah is saying, holy cow, I'm going to write this in my books. Sammy looked at a Dogecoin chart live. Yeah, I mean, this guy got me by saying he mined it, because I really respect that. That's really, really smart. I mean, he's basically, his only risk is electricity cost. And I think it's genius to be mining a coin like that. Like, it's such a safe way to accumulate such a shit coin. Let's see what else we have here in the comments. If you are enjoying this live stream so far, I'm going to be wrapping it up soon, but if you are enjoying it so far, let's get another little surge on those likes right now. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Make sure you don't miss out on this amazing content, this very humble content. What do I think of Cardano? Okay, this one is important for me because I was trading it. This is one of the coins that I have repeatedly lost money on. Actually, this is the only coin that I've repeatedly lost money on last month. And it caused me a lot of problems. I didn't actually lose a lot of money, but I failed a lot of trades with it. And a lot of people call me out. They're like, you never say when you're losing trades. That's because generally my success rate is really good. It's taken a nosedive in August. And I did have some really good trades. Like the best one I had was probably buying Ethereum right before the major breakout. And I'm still in a big profit on that. But I did make at least 3, maybe even 4, maybe more than that. But definitely at least 3 trades on Cardano, and those 3 went badly, and I was trading the upside. Interestingly, I asked Tone Vase about this before the live stream yesterday, because I was feeling really bad about it. And bless him, he said he would have taken the same trades as me, and that made me a lot better. It made me feel a lot better, knowing that my trading role model would have done the same thing. But I mean, looking at it now, it's trading right at a previous, I think this is an all-time high, but because Cardano has risen up really quickly, it doesn't actually have much support here. So all it did was fell down to that $2 level, just a touch lower, and then bounce back up. But this, I think, is generally just going to be at the mercy of Bitcoin, because it's in exactly the same position as Bitcoin. Moved down massively, retraced, now trading sideways. That's exactly the same position as Bitcoin right now. So the answer to your Cardano question, look, moved down massively, retrace, moving sideways. The answer to your Cardano question is the answer to the Bitcoin question, in my opinion. That's how I'm seeing this. Someone says I have 10 screens, so I must be right. Yes, there is a lot of evidence to suggest that the more screens you have, the more profitable you are. That was sarcasm. I know someone's going to take that seriously. Hi, 4Players. What perspective on the DXY chart? I've already gone over that. Please rewind the stream. Great live stream, Sammy. Thank you very much. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Good to see that you're in the live stream today, mate. Pain always gives gain down the road. You can't trade without it. Pretending you can is bollocks. That's very true, man. You need the pain to learn a lot of things. Crypto Kirby is always fucking correct. Yeah, you hate to see it, man. You hate to see it because he does have more negative analysis than most other YouTubers in the space. And obviously, look, there's a time and a place, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to be bearish on this rally up. And I don't know if he was because I wasn't watching him. But, you know, I mean, there is a time and place to be bearish. And Kirby has consistently been bang on with those time and places in my time observing him and learning from him. How do I set up my Ichimoku indicator? Very simple. I go into the settings, bam, right here, and my inputs are 20, 60, 120, 30 in that order. I get that question a lot. Check out Raul Paul Real Vision. Let me take a look at that real quick, because someone said I can get him on the channel. I'm guessing he's a YouTuber from the way you guys are. Real Vision Finance. Yep. Bam. Here's the guy. Oh, he's live right now. Nice. Okay, this is not a he's not a Bitcoin YouTuber. He's more like a general financial market YouTuber. Yeah, I'll check him out. See what's up. Thank you for the recommendation. I generally don't watch a lot of YouTubers these days. But yeah, I mean, if you guys say he's good, then I'll take a look. Let's see what else we have here. Have I met Crypto Kirby? No, I haven't met him. Does he really sound like that? I don't know. I'm sure he sounds like that in real life, because I don't think he edits his voice. That would be kind of weird. Challenge your beliefs, but only listen to 2 other traders. See, the issue with listening to many different traders is it's this saying of like too many ingredients spoils the pot kind of thing, where the more input you have from different sources, the more muddled it can get. So I challenge my beliefs on my own. I don't need other people to do that. Really, the only other opinions other than mine and Tone Vase and Crypto Kirby is generally Bitcoin to $1 million, because us three, we generally encompass all the other possibilities other than the absolutely stupid, you know, Bitcoin's going to $1 million next year kind of ideas. I guess Tone Vase is has very, very optimistic price predictions like that as well. Like that, not exactly like that, of course. But you know, I don't need to entertain those kind of ideas, and I challenge my analysis myself. I don't need other people to do that for me, and you shouldn't either. You know, it's the more people you listen to, like you're running a risk. You know, like I mean, the best traders I know are generally the ones who don't listen to too many other people. So, you know, challenging yourself and listening to other people, they're two different things, and you can challenge yourself without listening to other people. Very, very important distinction. I know your question had a little bit of a rude hint to it, but hopefully I did answer that anyway. What is your next Bitcoin price? Is it going down and then swim back top high? You got to rewind the stream. I've been talking about this the whole stream. I'm sad for all these people who don't have a clue how to trade, who lost their money, their savings. I mean, it's sad, but man, like, you know, you're signing up to a market, and you gotta know before you enter. I mean, it's almost like saying I feel sorry for people who walk into a casino and lose their money. Like, yeah, that's also sad, but you knew exactly what you were doing when you came in here. You know, that's my approach here. Why do I never talk about market makers? I just don't think it's relevant to the TA, man. I don't even understand that stuff fully. I don't like to talk about things I don't understand fully. Kanan, 4Flies, thanks for answering. I'm a bit concerned by this rejection from the HMA because I have been in a long since 36,000. That is a phenomenal long position. Congratulations. Thinking maybe it's time to close the position. Well, I can't comment on if it's time to close the position because only you can know that for sure. But what I absolutely can say with a lot of confidence is taking profits never made a man poor. You are not going to be poorer if you close part of your position out, or even if you close it all, because you made a big profit. So you know, Bitcoin went up to 53. It's now down to 46. You entered down here. I think everybody would generally agree that if you entered a long position here, you wrote it up here, and now you close it here, you still got a really good exit price. That's my opinion. It doesn't matter if you close it here or here or here or at 100,000. This is still a very good exit price in my opinion, because you made a profit, and you didn't make a small profit. You made a good profit. Even without leverage, that's a good gain. 36,000 to current price, bam, 27%. 100k turns into 127. A little bit of leverage, and now your 100k turns into 200. You know, just using 3 times leverage. I don't know what leverage you use, Kanan, but I know for a fact that your gain is not small. So, you know, I mean, I would have already taken a lot of profit on those things already. on those kind of positions. We're getting a lot of questions. I do want to wrap this up soon, but I'll keep going through the questions for just a little bit longer. Do I think this could be the C wave of an ABC correction to the downside? No, if anything, this is probably the A wave. But I don't really do ABC corrections and stuff like that, so I can't comment too much. There's so many questions. This is hard to go through. Why didn't Hex dip? Probably because it's not liquid. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know much about it. Let's see what else we have here. Thank you very much for hitting the like button, Olga. Cardano hurt my ego. Cardano hurt my ego, man. I feel your pain. I made the same trade on Cardano, like I said, 3, maybe 4 times. And I don't even think I made 1 profit on it. Like, it's been a long time since I've suffered that many losses. And again, they were small. They were all fluctuating between like 20-30%, maybe even less. Yeah, some of them were less than that as well. You know, and then at that, I was drastically lowering my position size, you know, to accommodate, you know, potential losses. But of course, it knocks your confidence, and that costs a lot more than just losing money. You know, losing confidence is a very pricey, it's a very expensive price to pay. How can I join your channel membership? Follow these steps on screen. First link in the description, @4flies button, and then send message. These 3 clicks, no signups, no downloads. You can ask me how to join, just say hi, and we'll send you all of the information right now within like 10 minutes. A lot of you guys have already been doing that while we were live. I can see you guys reaching out. You did, I think, unfortunately, just miss a discount that ended maybe like last week. But there is still a small discount running right now. So now's your chance to get in if you haven't done so already. This is the best time to be in. Like I said, historically, it's times like this where I've made the most money in these markets. And you can see exactly how I'm trading by joining VIP. All right, let's see what other questions we have here. Roll Paul is more like Michael Saylor than a YouTuber. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. There's a lot of spam about 100x coin. Guys, if you see people promoting a coin in the comments of my videos or any YouTuber's videos, it's usually a bot. Keep that in mind. Crypto Kirby is not a perma bear. He's realistic, just like 4flies. That's the thing. I mean, being realistic in this market makes you automatically labeled as a bear because people are so cult-like in this space, and they cannot entertain the idea that you disagree with them in this space. Because a lot of the time, and this is why I said, like, a lot of the time, it's poor people that lose their money in this market because there's so many people who have no financial education. They're joining the financial markets for the first time, and I was one of them too. You know, who've had no training, they have no knowledge of this, nobody in their family does it, so they had no opportunity to learn other than their own self-education, and most people are very lazy, so they didn't do that, and because of that, they're overinvested, and if ever somebody challenges their opinions, they hate them. They really hate them. And I mean, it's annoying for YouTubers, that's one thing, but it's absolutely great for traders because that's what gives us such strong moves like this. And, you know, if you're trading it, you know, that's what gives us strong moves like this as well. So, you know, as a trader, it's one of the best things you can have, but obviously it's just generally annoying to have to deal with them. Tone is a legend. Love to see him back in 4flies. Hell yeah, man. We're going to have much more collaborations together, I'm sure. Those of you who are out in Dubai or close by or just in the area, the Financial Summit with Tone is actually hosted by Tone. This is like a networking event with, I think, some speaking and stuff like that. This is happening November 6th to November 12th. So that is in literally exactly 2 months from now. I am going to be there as well. Bam, that's me right there. I'm not 19 anymore, I'm 20. That's me sitting on my Ferrari. Yeah, we're gonna have Da Vinci there. A lot of you guys know Da Vinci. Willy Woo, I don't think many of you will know Willy Woo, but he's a quite talented technical analyst. Ugly Old Goat, same thing. Very technical, very talented TA guy who many of you probably don't know about. And then obviously Tone Vase is hosting it. So come join us there. It's in Dubai. It is not cheap. And precisely the reason for that is you're going to be meeting a lot of high net worth individuals. And it's not just me here as well, by the way. Carl the Moon is here as well, although he's not listed here. Da Vinci, like I said. So you're getting a lot of people, and you're going to be getting like a private pool in your in your room as well. So it's great for, you know, bringing your significant other and things like that. If you want a little bit of a vacation, if you want to come out to a free country, the United Arab Emirates is one of the most free countries that I've been in over the past year and a half, and I have been doing a lot of traveling since this pandemic started, and the UAE has been hands down one of the best places. Tax-free, great place. By the way, if any of you guys want to move there, contact me. I'll help you guys out from anywhere in the world. Absolutely love it, and you get to meet some very cool people as well. So if you do wanna come to that, then type in Financial Summit Tone Vase, the Financial Summit. It's just thefinancialsummit.com. That's the URL. Maybe you can see it on the top. Yeah, you can see it on the top right here, thefinancialsummit.com. So check that out. Anyway, let's see a few final questions, and then I am going to be heading off for sure. I have nearly caught up to the bottom of these comments here. So yeah, I'm just gonna finish off these questions and then head off. Forflies, thanks for the videos. You're very welcome. I like the style of glasses, but I want to see something different. You know, I don't like to like buy clothing and stuff like that too much. So I usually just buy one thing and stick with it for a long time. And then like shirts, I'll buy like 5 of them, so I don't have to think about it. But I'm glad you like it, because a lot of people call them like pedo glasses and stuff. Forflies, what do you think about Bitcoin rise but gets rejected by 50.5 as a Head and Shoulders? Entirely possible Bitcoin gets rejected around here, 100%. It is an area of resistance at the end of the day, so you can't rule it out. I don't think it's likely though. Maybe we get a small rejection, but not a big one. I definitely don't think we're going to get a big one. ETH stabilizing right now or headed down? I think Ethereum is going to do exactly what Bitcoin is doing, and Bitcoin is not in a great place. Yeah, that's how I see it. 100x is a joke coin from a YouTuber. Sure, it very well might be, but the thing is, man, there's a lot of comments like that. What will happen with these spammy comments is they will, like, 15 minutes after my video is published, there will suddenly be like 10 comments saying buy 100x or buy algo or buy whatever shit coin these bots, these scammers want to promote on that day. And they will, like, 10 of these comments will come within the space of 2 minutes, and they're going to upvote them with 100 bot accounts. And it's just a mess. And yeah, like, you guys generally probably wouldn't fall for it, but people do fall for it. And even people of this channel. And that's why scammers keep trying. So that's why I try to spread the word on it. I have a lot of impersonators as well. You know, the only official real links to my social pages are the ones that you see in the description. My Instagram, my Twitter, everything I have, down there only. But a lot of people miss that, and you know, like, they'll do business with my scammers, and you know, they'll pay money to my scammers, they'll pay money to my impersonators, you know, saying that they're selling my VIP and different things like that, and they'll take their money, and as soon as the money's gone, they block them, and that's it. You know, and it can be thousands of dollars sometimes that these scammers take, you know, so it's a big deal. Do I think that Bitcoin is the best coin and the rest of them are shit coins, including Ethereum? I mean, I don't know about Ethereum. I think Ethereum's pretty cool, but yeah, obviously most of them I think are shit coins. Regarding Solana, I think the reason it's pumping so crazily is because it's one of the very few coins to have solved the crypto trilemma. What is the crypto trilemma? Plus, it can process over 50,000 transactions per second. You know, saying that you can process 50,000 transactions per second and actually processing 50,000 transactions per second are two different things. That's my comment on that. But what is the crypto trilemma? I've never heard of that term before. Guys, we're so close to 1,000 likes. We need to smash them up. Let's get them up to 1,000. I'm gonna go through a couple more questions, and then head off. So close. If you found this live stream useful, if I've answered your question, anything like that, smash them up. You know what to do. Subscribe if you're new. We're so close. Let's see what else we have here. Is alcohol allowed in Dubai? Yeah, man. Dubai is almost, I mean, look, the way you can visualize it is, I mean, it's a version of, you know what? Here's a good way to put it. It's a lot like what the West used to be before it became really libertarian. I'm sorry, not libertarian, really left-wing. That's how Dubai is. It's very westernized. You get bars, clubs, nightclubs, you know, I mean, you get everything. Everything that's normal, 100%. It's just with a traditional background, you know, family values, stuff like that. You know, the things that, you know, a lot of you guys I know are going to probably appreciate. Please can I summarize Bitcoin as I joined late? I can't do that because it's a lot of analysis, so please just rewind the stream. Trilemma is security, scalability, and decentralization. Interesting. I will take a look at Solana for those reasons, but I'm generally not interested. You know, cryptos are like businesses, 90% fail. Actually, with crypto, the number of failures is probably a lot higher. I've been in a long on Ethereum 30x since last year entry at $1,000. Should I close, take profits, or ladder some more in? Thank you. First of all, congratulations on your amazing position. I would not have been able to hold a position for that long, so that's really cool. I can't tell you what to do, man, but like I said with the other guy, like I would have already taken a lot of profits off the table. See, the magic is not in getting one position that hits really big. The magic is in getting a lot of positions that hit moderately well. Because if you make 150% profit, or in your case, 300% profit, you're usually going to be running a lot of risk, which means that you stand to lose money. But if you were to have made, say, 6 or 10, 50% profits instead, that's going to be a lot easier to hit than 300%, for example, and you would be ahead because you'd be compounding your money. It's the beauty of compounding. You put it in a calculator. What happens if you get a 50% profit 10 times in a row? In fact, let's do it together. Let's see. Let me bring this up for you guys. Let me just demonstrate this real quick. Bam. Look. Let's say we're starting with $10,000. You're getting a 50% profit, which is 1.5, and you're getting that to the power of 10 times in a row. Bam. 10K turns into 57. 57. If you, I mean, 11, you're already up to 86. This is a big difference, guys. You're already up to 86,000 from 10. The difference between 10 50% profits and 11 is huge because you're tapping into that compound gain. 130. It is absolutely huge. You're at 13 times $200,000. You know, we compare, I mean, you know, just 5 of them, you're not in a major profit. It's $76,000. You get 10. I'm sorry, I think I've been reading these numbers wrong. 576, my bad. What am I talking about? 576, and then the other was 2 million. So, I mean, this is going to give you an idea of how powerful it is. You know, compounding profits is where the magic is. It's not in hitting it big ones. All right, guys, I am properly exhausted. It has been a really long time since I've done 500K. Yeah, my bad. I read the numbers wrong. I'm tired. It's been a long time since I've done a 2-hour live stream. We're nearly there. So thank you all very much for sticking with me. Shout out to those of you who've been here since the beginning of this live stream. You are warriors. If you've been watching this, you guys, if these live streams are too long for you, by the way, a lot of people say that, put them on in the background. You know, like, listen to them as a podcast. A lot of the time, you don't even need to see what I'm talking about. You can just listen to me. I read the numbers. You know, put it on in the background. Listen to it as a podcast. You're going to be fine. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in. We're 100 likes away from 1,000. I'm going to be signing off, but I'm going to be trusting you guys to get us up there real quick. If you found it useful, all that good stuff, you know what to do. Subscribe, tick the bell. You want to sign up to an exchange, you need a backup. If you don't already have a backup, Bybit is the place to be. Link down below. You're going to be getting some extra cash for free deposited straight into your account. So definitely check that out with the link down below. And if you are looking to take your trading to the next level, you want to be like this guy who turned 2.5K into 20 since joining VIP in March. About 5-6 months, this person made more than a 10x gain, because a few days later he showed me he made 27K. You want to join VIP, see how this person pulled it off, gain access to everything this person had. The steps are on screen for you guys right here. Right, guys, I'm going to be signing off now. How is the 75-day challenge? That's actually one of the reasons I want to go. I am incredibly exhausted, but I need to go for my second workout. So yeah, it's super difficult. It's the difficult part is not doing 2 workouts a day. It's not drinking 4 liters of water. It's not doing the reading. The difficult part is in doing that every day with no breaks. Like in a vacuum, it's pretty doable, I would say, for anybody. You know, even if you're completely out of shape, you don't need to do a super intense workout, right? So that's not the difficult part. The difficult part is you've done it today, and then you're going to have to do it tomorrow, and then again tomorrow, and then again tomorrow for 75 days. And that part is the hardest. If you want to follow my progress on that, it's right there on my Instagram, which you'll find in the bio. Anyway, guys, I'm going to be signing off now for real.